Hey Ray, I see Bruce's name on he's on the screen here, so I don't see his picture, but Bruce, are you there?
Can you hear me?
Now we hear you. Yeah, we don't
Yep.
see
Okay,
you.
Bruce, you're on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm on. I have no video, but I can hear you now.
That's
I
no,
got
that's
my.
fine. That's good. I forgot. Mike,
Okay.
Mike Lombardo.
No, he's not here.
Okay, Preston Merritt.
There is a Preston. Sorry.
Yeah,
Preston, you're on.
yeah.
Okay, and Richard Wolf would be the last one.
Yes, sir. I'm here.
Good, excellent. Okay, then we declare a quorum. All right, can we take a moment to do the Pledge of Allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. The first item, our next item on the agenda is public comment. Anybody from the public like to be heard?
Yeah, I'd like to say something.
Go ahead, Graham.
Graham Bissett, Commander, Trumbull Memorial Post 10059, Veterans of Foreign Wars. Ernie Foido, Commander of Trumbull American Legion, Post 141, is in agreement. We, the veterans, have been on record for over 3 years that we just want a building. We promised and said numerous times we don't want to ask the town or the Trumbull taxpayers for more money. We are fine with a different design or a smaller building. If the town of Trumbull wants this building for community events and use and wants to fund it, we are grateful. But for the records, the veterans organizations are fine either way. Thank you.
I agree with everything he said. Ernie Foido, American Legion, Post 141, Commander.
Okay, thank you both. Is there anybody else in the public like to be heard?
If anybody else attendees would like to speak, please hit the raise hand button.
Who's that?
I would just inform
Okay.
them to hit raise hand, but I do not see any hands raised at this point.
Okay, all right, I'm going to close public comment then. Next item is approval of the August 6, 2025 meeting minutes. You have a motion?
Motion to approve the minutes.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? None. All right, the main item on the agenda is discussion and a motion to request an amount which we will have to determine after a conversation with Wiles Associates and Jeff Anderson for funding from the town of Trumbull for completion of the construction of the center should it become necessary. George Wiles and Jeff, would one of you like to just walk the members through what the request should look like and what amount we should be asking of the town?
I can address the value engineering. We did a conversation with PAC. They reconfirmed the number that Jeff is using in their most recent budget. And they also confirmed that they're willing to hold their price to the end of February. As far as the specifics of the budget that Jeff prepared, I've reviewed it and everything looks in order. Jeff and I have had some conversation about some of the figures, and the budget before you represents the conclusion of those conversations. And that's about it for me. And I think, Jeff, if you're here.
Sure, thank you. Just, the information that I've been sharing with the committee and various members over the past couple months, again, is predominantly based on the PAC bid that was submitted quite some time ago, incorporating the value engineering that George Wiles worked closely with them on over those same series of months. It is really a gathering of information, if you will, that has been given to Downs as your OPM from various parties, not the least of which has been from the town. Can you hear me?
Go ahead, Jeff.
Sorry, that results in an effort that allows some level of contingency for the town to move forward with hiring PAC, and seeks to obviously increase the overall budget by the number indicated.
I know there's some newer members on here, so just to get you folks up to speed, PAC was the low bidder. Their bid had expired in mid-October. Through conversations that we have had with them, and their principals of the company have agreed to hold that bid for us through the end of February. I'm certain that if like I said, the next step would have for us to go to the Board of Finance and then to the Town Council, which may not happen until the first week of March. I'm certain that if it passes the Board of Finance, they'll hold that bid through the first or second week of March until we get before the council. The value engineering part of this is that they submitted a low bid, and then George Wiles from Wiles Associates and Jeff Anderson from Downs had conversations with them, and were able to value engineer the project down by about $450,000, which brings us to the amount that we're here to discuss tonight.
Hey, Ray, can I just ask a question then?
Go ahead.
So Jeff and George, it says 436 on that sheet, estimate. That's a firm 436, not estimate then, right? Jeff, the last sheet you sent said estimated. That's a firm, right?
Yeah, that number was confirmed verbally with the president of
Okay.
PAC.
Okay, so it's no longer estimated. That's good enough. And the 51,000 that was pending, did we get an answer on that? The 51,000 that was a possible additional cuts, did we get an answer on that?
I'm not sure what that is, Jeff. Do you?
I know that there was a potential for additional value engineering that you had mentioned, George Wiles, beyond the 436.
Wait, it's on the bottom of the sheet. It's been on the bottom of the sheet for 3 months. 51,000 pending coming from PAC. It's been on the bottom of the sheet for 3 months.
Yeah, those are pending additional value engineerings that are available that need more architectural and engineering services in order for PAC to put a number on it. Those additional items are available, and there are a few items that PAC has put a number to, but the committee hasn't really approved them, but they are available. For example, in the 436,000, eliminating the transom windows would save us $24,000. If we change the doors from the Anderson E series to the Anderson A series, that would save us $8,963. And if we eliminate the B type pendant fixtures, that would save us $11,000. So right there's 24, 10, 34, roughly another $50,000 that could be saved, but it hasn't been confirmed. The 436 has been confirmed by PAC.
So if I could just add quickly, George and Dan, is I think what we have before us is a budget report that has been fairly well vetted. And again, as I said earlier, is predominantly based on PAC's willing to honor the original bid plus the value engineering that has been predominantly discussed with George Wiles. Doesn't mean we are done collectively to try to look for additional savings. But I think it's important for the committee to just recognize the budget report as it sits now, with that additional funding that's going to be required to complete it, move forward, and we can continue to work collectively with PAC after assumption of approval to potentially look for additional cost savings.
Yeah, Jeff, the only reason I brought that up was because it's been pending for a while. And I'm trying to find a way to recover the $40,000 to get a generator into the building, because I can't see us building a building without a generator. And so I was just trying to see if that 51,000 can cover the generator. I know that there's plans say after we go forward, we'll find the money, but it's a lot more comfortable for me personally if the money was there ahead of time. So I was just questioning that 51,000 to cover the 40,000 for the generator.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. That's it for me, Ray.
Okay. So, Jim Nugent, are you on?
Yes, I'm on.
Okay, Jim, so the number that we're looking at is 703,634. How specific should we be with the resolution that we make in terms of the number? Should it be to that specifically, or there's a $300,000 contingency in this number, by the way, for anybody who's on the call. Of the 703, 634, 300,000 is for contingency. Would it be unreasonable to reduce the number to a straight 700,000 and take that other 3,634 out of the contingency, or just stay with that number?
I don't think it's unreasonable, Ray. I mean, as long as that's a solid number, and I don't want to keep, sound like I'm repeating myself, but we want to take a not to exceed number to the Board of Finance and the Town Council. So when they vote, they know that this is the final number. And I would encourage you to go into the Board of Finance with whatever backup, substantiation, or documents you have, because there probably will be questions.
Yep.
And you want to be prepared to be able to inform them so they know they're making a good decision, that's the cap. And I just want to go back to the about the generator, right? Because you've been saying that the generator was being donated. That was my understanding.
Well, originally, the DiNardo $100,000, originally they had said that they would do the generator. They subsequently said that they would do $100,000, which is more than the cost of the generator. And there are other donors out there that, like I think I explained to you, that are waiting to see if this project is real or not before they make contributions. So I think we're going to be able to cover the generator. So,
All right. So right now,
Ray?
that's a cost. Okay.
Ray?
yes. Yes. Bruce.
Ray?
Yeah, Bruce.
Yeah, please identify yourself for the record.
This is Bruce. Yeah, I'm sorry. This is Bruce Silverstone. So I have a question. Really, for the last 5.5 years, we have said that we weren't going to ask the town for money and or for any additional funding. So what's changed recently that has, I'm not certain who went forward, but what's changed in going forward and asking the town for that? A couple of times we had agreed that we would build a building with the funds that we had in place and were already awarded.
There was conversations that took place. Rena's listening in on the call, but unfortunately she can't speak right now. The conversation we had with her, Dan Chaco, and myself, she had approached the first selectman about possibility of doing a backstop, what they call a backstop, just guaranteeing that in the event we came up with a shortfall after the budget was finally prepared, that the town would guarantee that amount. That does not foreclose us, and I want to be clear that we're going to continue to do fundraising in order to make up that shortfall. But in order for us to sign, we can't sign a contract with PAC. We can't move forward and do anything until we have a guarantee of the money being in place for the project. So the decision is going to have to be made by this building committee whether they want to ask the town for additional $700,000. I mean, we've raised over $5 million. We put through Dan Sacco's efforts and others, we have an operating budget account of about, Dan, what is it now? $300,000?
Yeah, 200,000. Yeah.
$200,000. So listen, this is crunch time for us. Either we ask the town for the money, get the backing, continue to fundraise, and close that gap through some more value engineering, or we go back to the drawing board again. You're going to have to pay fees and costs to redesign this building with the money you have, and still you're going to have to get approvals from the state and federal government, who gave us the money predicated on a design that we had presented to them. So that's where we are, Bruce. I mean, we can discuss this and decide whether we want to do it or not, as recommended or not to the town. It's going to be up to you folks. That's why we're having the meeting. All right, I'm gonna put a motion out there and then we can have more discussion if you choose to do so. I'm gonna make a motion that the Trumbull Veterans and First Responders Center Building Committee hereby requests the town of Trumbull to guarantee and provide funding for any construction budget shortfall for the center in an amount not to exceed $703,000. Do I have a second?
I'll second it, President.
Excuse me, Ray? Ray, I just got to jump in quick. As the chair, you shouldn't be making the motion. Just ask someone else to make the motion you just said.
Okay. All right, Preston, can you make the motion that I just read?
Not as eloquently as you just read it.
Just say so moved. Just say so moved.
Say so moved. Okay. Now do we have a second?
Second,
Who seconded it?
Rich Wolf.
Rich Wolf. We have a second. Is there any discussion?
Well, Ray, this is Bruce Silverstone again. I think, for 5 years, we've told the town that we weren't going to ask for money. And now we look like we've told not the town, public, that we're not going to ask the town for funds. And now we're in effect going back on our word. We had decided as a group, the committee had decided twice that we would build a building with the funds that we had in place. And I think now we're going back on our word.
Well, this is Rena Bacalar. Can you hear me?
Yes.
So I'm sorry to interject, Ray, but we're not necessarily going back on our word in my opinion, and I understand how you feel as a group or how Bruce feels. We have some contingency. We don't know if we're going to need it or not. We have an ability to raise more funds, and we have ability to do additional cost engineering. We're going to get what I think is an outstanding product, potentially building for the community. We have faced a lot of issues. We have faced cost increases, COVIDs. We've faced all kinds of things with this project. We are in a position, we're there. We're at the precipice of getting this done. So it would be my hope that we could move forward with an agreement with PAC, making sure we're the best stewards for the money that the town is contributing to this, and that we use the least amount of it. And I think that we're going to get a fantastic facility, in my opinion, at the end of the day. So we're right there. I think by the time we would re-engineer the building, redesign the building and all these other things, I'm not sure that we're going to end up ahead. So if we have the support of the community and of the town to try to backstop this, use as little of this $703,000 or whatever it is dollars as possible, continue to raise funding and do all these things, we're right there. This has not been an easy slog, and I know nobody wants to take money from anybody, me included. I agree, but we're right there. So I'm hoping that we can get agreement, get as close as possible, use as little money of the town's money as possible, and get this project done. The community has been wonderfully supportive. This committee has been fantastic. I'm sorry that I had to take a break from this. I'm not on all cylinders yet, but I will be. But I just wanted to speak up and let you know my thinking on this. And I know you have your own thinking on it, and I respect that as well. Thank you.
So Bruce, just to dovetail on what you just said, this is first and foremost a veteran center, and it's also being used by our first responders in town, who are primarily the police department. So it is a town entity, and the building usage, the town will be able to use this building for boards and commissions, for events that they want to hold, and so forth. So there's a component of this for the community and for the town of Trumbull. And that what we're asking for, if we get the approval for the $700,000, amounts to about 15% of the cost of this project. So we funded through state, federal money, private donations, and or other organizations, 85% of the cost of this building. And in addition, have been able to build up a fund of $200,000 for operating expenses for this building, something that is never done, that I've never seen done on any town project
Right.
in all the years that I have been involved. So I think this committee is going above and beyond. I don't believe we're going back on our word. I believe that, as Rena pointed out, we started out this almost 6 years ago, literally almost within days. We were shut down for almost 2 years with COVID. And the cost of construction post-COVID has gone up anywhere from 30 to 40%, something that was not foreseen at the time we formed this committee. So I'm comfortable in going back to the town. If I'm the one that has to take the responsibility for making the request, I'm happy to do that. But at this juncture, and after 6 years of hard work, I think it would be it wouldn't be prudent for us to go back to the board again, as Rena said, redesign it, not being sure that we're going to get a reduction in the amount of money sufficient enough to cover it without asking for more funds. So that's my position on it. And
just to add, we're going to continue to.
we're going to continue to fundraise.
Okay, so this is, yeah, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I firmly believe, and there people have told me outright, that until they see that this is a real project, they aren't going to make a contribution. They're not going to make a substantial contribution. So that's where we are.
So I think, this is Bruce Silverstone again. I think that Irina, you had said that the town is totally supportive of this.
I didn't say that because
no,
I don't know what the Board of Finance and the town council are likely.
I didn't say that totally
yeah.
supportive of it. I said that in the conversations I'm having, there's support for it. I have not gone to the Board of Finance or any of these other boards yet. I mean, those are steps we have to take through our process. So what I'm saying is, I believe we have beat this to death. I mean, I don't even know how to say it. We have worked so hard, all of us, to get this done. Would I like to do it with no town money? Yes. And I think that's still a goal to reduce to the degree possible any contribution from the town. But to backstop this, get it going, hold the bid for PAC, which seems to be a very good bid. If we were to go out to bid, we might not get such a price, even on a smaller building. We don't know that. So I think they've been very.
So Rena, I know how hard you've worked, Rena, and Ray, I know what you've done. And I think it's important for the committee to vote unanimously. I think that shows cohesiveness that.
Are you there?
To see, they wouldn't like to see divisiveness.
Yes.
So, I'm sorry.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Bruce.
Go ahead,
Yeah.
finish, Bruce.
So I know I have been a little reticent about using town funds, but and asking for town funds, but in thinking it through and understanding that it will be used by other emergency services, probably primarily by the police department. I certainly I will vote for this, not against it, which is a bit of a switch for me. I would ask though, one thing is that I don't know how we can build this building without actively placing in a generator. I mean, certainly police will need it. I know Ray said other funds can be raised, but we've kind of talked about that on and off for some time as well. Can't we just put it in and figure out how we're going to pay for it?
Well, that goes to the ask, and I've committed. I talked to Dan Sacco about this. I've committed to raise the money from other sources to get the generator. The wiring is already going to be in place. We're going to have a year to raise the money for the generator, and I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give you my word. I think I have a donor that will do the generator. It just, the ask right now is from the town to do the backstopping for the construction.
Hey, Ray, can I just jump in quick? Jim Nugent?
Sure. Go ahead, Jim.
I just want to explain the process to everyone so they're clear. If the committee approves this and the Board of Finance and the council both approve it, that means we can bond the money. Once we have the bond in place, between the contingency and other fundraising, we don't have to draw down on the bond 100%. So to
Exactly.
the extent that you can replace that money from other sources, the town will not have to draw down on the bond. It's less borrowing cost for the town. So that's what I would encourage.
That's well said, Jim. Thank you. That's exactly the point. This money will not, is at the back end of the project, for everybody to understand. It's at the back end of the project. We have money to start the construction and do a lot of work. And this building is not going to be completed if we started in April or May, it won't be completed probably until January or February of next year, I'm estimating. So we have a lot of time to get donors in place for the things that we want to have in the building, including the generator.
Hey, Ray, I'll just put this on record. I'm going to vote yes also, but I want to make sure we understand that we're doing this because I'm hearing we're going to go to the Board of Finance and we're going to go to the other places and they're going to have the town council going to vote yes. As long as they understand that we're doing this whole building at the length we're doing it because the community is good for the community, that the veterans are already on record that said, hey, we don't care if it's a smaller building or a different design. I'm fine with the town saying, okay, we're going to put up that $703,000, and if you don't use it, you don't use it. But if you use it, you use it. But I want to make sure that it's not us coming back because we felt like we gave our word as veterans, and we're coming back now and saying it. But I just want to make sure there's a complete understanding of that, and that there's no misunderstanding from the veteran standpoint that this is where we stand.
The position of the two commanders was very clear. I understand it.
Okay.
Remembering again that at the end of the day, this is a town building, town-owned building, and the town is going to want to use this facility just like they use Tashiwan Knolls. So
as long as the town says that and says this is we do want to back this and you guys should out and go raise it, I'm all in. If they say we don't want to charge taxpayers something, I'm in on that too. But I'm going to vote yes tonight because we want to go forward to the finance committee and every place else.
Thank you, Dan. Mary Isaac, do you have anything you'd like to say?
Yes, just from the council perspective, I have to agree with what Bruce was saying. I mean, obviously, this committee's been working for 6 years on this. It's a monumental task, and we know it went from what was the original thought to bid, which escalated dramatically, unfortunately. But so just a couple things on the financial side of it, and Rena may know this. I don't remember the $250,000 that Sarah Kitt had found. Was that already spent? It's not in the recap of the total town budget for the over under that's needed, but I thought that had already been spoken for. Just wanted to check if Rena's still there or Jim.
It's my understanding that money went directly to the veterans organizations. So that money was used for multiple things. Some of that money went toward costs associated with the along the way with the project. So some of it went toward toward things for the building.
Excuse me, Rena, we've already given an accounting to the state on how those funds were dispersed, actually.
Correct.
Dan, you're there?
Yeah, Mary, I'd be happy to meet with you at any point in time and show you where each dollar went. We have it outlined. Some of it went to pay for some of the construction under the buildings, and some of it went to support the programs that were supposed to be in the building. When the committee was formed, there were 3 committees formed. One was a corporate committee, one was an individual donation seeking committee, and one was a naming right and plaque committee. And we said at the beginning of the process, we would take all those funds from those 3 committees and put them into a pot so that the day we opened that building, we would have money to run that building for years and never come back to the town and ask for a penny. And so a lot of that stuff went to support those programs, the plaques and the programs like that to create the building inside. So when that building does open, everything that we needed to do inside to cover the walls of honor and all the things are all paid for and covered already. So
Right.
that's all done. It came out of those funds. I'd be happy to take you line by line on everything that was.
No,
done.
that's fine. I knew it had to be spent within a certain amount of time. I just didn't know if it
Yes.
was all spent. I knew there was an
Yeah.
extension. And then I guess with that, one other, I know you do want to have the operating funds, which is one reason that you've been selling the plaques and trying to get the sponsorships.
Yes.
If we're at a point where if the Board of Finance and or the town council chooses to say it is up to 700,000, but they don't want to go that high, I'm just curious if there is a thought from the committee to say that some of these sponsorships, since there is still a year to raise funds and there will be an ongoing or going to an enterprise, as I know you've discussed, would that be a consideration to perhaps use those funds?
Well, we've
towards-
already made that change, obviously, because like Ray went out was able to raise $100,000 from Larry Donato, or Lenny, whatever his name
Yeah.
is. And the way this was designed originally, those funds would have come into the pot to go run that building when it was open. It's not coming into the pot now, it's going to pay the building. So
No, I'm
any-
talking about the two, sorry to interrupt you, the
250 is gone.
250.
250 is gone. The 250 is gone. Is that the question?
Yes, I thought 250 was in the bank from the sponsorships and plaques sold.
No, it's,
No, no.
oh, it's from,
We're-
yes.
So Mary, several years ago, Dan and another fellow and I put together what we put it together about 4 years ago, what would be an operating budget, an annual operating budget. And so we decided that we would raise funds to help fund at least the first couple of years. So to ensure there was money to pay the bills. And so we raised that $250,000 that you're talking about has already been spent. That's separate, but we have another $200,000 that we're saving as operating funds for the new committee that comes on board to actually run the building.
Yes, and I guess that's all I'm saying is that would the committee entertain perhaps using that towards this 700,000 if there's not the appetite, say by the.
Well,
The question with that, Mary, then is when the building opens, how are you going to pay the bills?
how are you gonna pay the bills? That's exactly right.
The-
We
you
made-
know,
we-
we-
We made
Yeah,
a
we're
commitment
gonna
to the-
run that building, and we're gonna have veterans in there saying we're gonna run this building. We don't want to come back. I don't want to come back to the Board of Finance. And
I
ask for a
understand,
dollar.
but if there's also people that are out there saying there's others. I don't want to get into,
Well,
back.
I'll tell you right now, scale back the building rather than give back the money of 200,000. We want to run that building without coming back to the town.
I understand. I guess how much then is there an kind of, I know you can only give a generic amount of the thought out there of people that still are going to sponsor, but they're waiting for the building to be funded. So is there 500,000, 800, 100?
I can say without identifying people that there's at least $250,000 out there waiting.
So that again kind of feeds into my point of if the money will hopefully come in pending this approval, if we're able to help with the approval process by reducing some of the fees to the town, then you could be offsetting your ongoing operating costs with funds that will be coming. And again, that's up to, just a thought.
Like I said, this 700,000 is not going to be spent till the very end of the project, if it's needed at all. All right. We have a pretty big contingency in there of $300,000. We went along with Downs Construction. It's a pretty robust contingency. So, but it's there, and that's part of that $700,000. We don't want to reduce that because you don't know what you're going to find once we start construction. It's unlikely we use that amount of money. But again, this is not going to be drawn down on, as Jim Nugent pointed out, until the very end of the project, if necessary.
I just had to put my council hat on for that. So, but thank you. And then I'm sorry, one just separate thing to Dan on the website, when you have out of stock on certain items, does that mean that they have been purchased?
Yes, ma'am. Yep.
They have. So that's pretty substantial there. Okay.
Yeah, that's
So
where the
that'll help then.
207,000 came from. That's where the 207,000 came from. Naming rights and plaques. That's where it all came from. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Mike Lombardo, I want to give you an opportunity. You have anything you want to add?
I do. Is there any thought of at some point, if we raise money, paying back the town whatever we borrow?
That's the whole idea. This 700,000 is a guarantee. And
Right.
the money that we have in place right now will be used for construction. If at the end, we come to the very end and find we have a shortfall up to that amount, that's when we would draw down on it, the town would step forward. So we have
Okay.
nearly a year to raise the money, and whatever we raise will be that much less that the town has to pay at the end.
Okay. But if after the project's done, let's say we use $300,000.
Yeah, when we get a better idea when we get to
Okay.
the tail end of the project, we'll have a better idea where we are. And at that
Okay.
point, we can have a conversation with the town about what we're gonna need, but.
Hey, Ray, let me make this clear. Let me make this clear.
Can I-
Let me
hold
make this
on,
clear.
Dan.
Let me make this clear.
Dan,
Mike.
Dan, hold on a second.
Yeah.
And at that time, Mike, it'll, whatever that amount is, will be capped at that amount of money.
Okay, thank you.
So let me have others, Preston, do you have a comment or any, questions? Preston,
Yes.
do you have any comments or any?
Well, I would like to thank Rena for all the hard work, and everybody on this committee has done hard work. And I think if there's one thing that we should be taking away from Mary's comments is that once assuming that the town does approve the $700,000, we're there to protect that $700,000 and hopefully not spend any of it.
Yes, correct. Okay, Rich Wolf?
Ray, I have one more thing to add, if I could, real quick, so everyone understands. You
Right.
can't go to contract without committed funds for the project. So regardless of what happens at the tail end, you can recoup more money, whatever. You're not going to be able to sign a contract without a commitment for all the funds. So people understand the commitment has to be there upfront.
Correct, right. That's why we have to go through the Board of Finance and Council.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Right, correct. Rich
So-
Wolf?
Yeah, so I thank you for everybody. I'm honored to be part of this. I knowing also from conversations that this is basically going to be self-sustaining as an enterprise fund, that there is going to be opportunity to pay the town back, and this is something important to the community. I mean, as you guys know, any 18, 19-year-old kid that goes off to war needs this type of facility. So I'm definitely on board for asking for the backstop, especially knowing it's the last thing that we'll touch as needed.
Okay. All right, anybody else have any further comments before we go to a vote? And hearing none, we'll go to a vote. I'm gonna do a roll call, so.
I think Vicky has her
There's
hand
Vicky,
raised.
yeah.
Oh, Vicky, I'm sorry, I didn't see you up there. Go ahead, Vicky.
Sorry, thanks, Ray. So listen, I'm here, watching the proceedings here. Obviously, I'm not the town council or the Board of Finance, but you've had my full support for this project from the beginning. I just want to make sure, and I'm going to say this, because I don't want you to have to come back again. You were absolutely sure that the 703,000 is sufficient, and it's, because you've got a not to exceed number here. So I don't want you to have to come back again. So I'm just asking the committee or Jeff, or just to confirm that. I've looked at the numbers, I get it, but I just want to make sure that all of you are confident that this is the number.
That's a question for George Wiles and Jeff Anderson, and
I'll just add, Vicky, that as I alluded to, and I also put in some recent emails, this is entirely predicated on PAC's willingness to hold their bid plus value engineering. You do not have a contract yet with them, and obviously you can't do a contract as mentioned by your legal counsel until the money is approved. There is confidence. There's been some professional word given. PAC Group is a reputable firm. They've put it in writing to George Wiles direct. So we don't have anything to lead us to believe that won't occur as long as it's, in the vicinity of end of February, early March.
Agreed. Well said, Jeff.
Vicky, anything else you'd like to add?
No, that's it. Thank you, everybody.
Okay. All right. We have a motion and a second. I'm going to do a roll call so we can get everybody in the record. Mary Isaac,
Yes.
Dan Sacco,
Yes.
Bruce Silverstone,
Yes.
Mike Lombardo,
Yes.
Preston Merritt,
Yes.
Richard Wolf.
Yes.
Okay, then the motion carries. All right, the next item on the agenda is to get, again,
Ray, if I may, just let me clarify something so I feel comfortable myself. When Chief Lombardo was talking about it is $300,000 will carry over to when the building is open, in no way, shape, form, or matter are we saying the veterans are going to take a loan to the building. It's going to
Right.
be paid. It's going to be paid. So I want to make sure Mike understands. I heard.
I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I didn't expect that. I do, Dan.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, Ray, sorry. I just don't want a problem later.
okay. Next item on the agenda is a discussion of a construction timetable. Now, assuming that we get approval from the Board of Finance and the Town Council, that Town Council, the closest Town Council vote we can get is probably at their March meeting, which would be the first Monday of March. They can pass it as emergency legislation, so that goes into effect right away. Assuming that that's the case, George and Jeff, how soon do you think PAC could begin construction? And in general terms, can you tell us how long it might take to get this building constructed?
Well, what we have is we have a commitment to the end of February. So the first thing we need to do is revisit PAC again to get to the end of March. So I think if we, and you can, Jim Nugent can jump in here. I think PAC would begin to enter into contracts with their subcontractors and their suppliers based upon, a letter of award or intent that the contract is forthcoming. And I think that the construction period, and Jeff, you can help me out here. In my estimation, that would be somewhere between 9 and 11 months.
That's correct. So I guess I'm a little bit confused, forgive me. So now we're talking in late March before they can actually get a notice to proceed or a formal letter or a contract from the town?
They would, if the Town Council passed it at their meeting in March, which is the first Monday of the month, and passed it as emergency legislation, it would go into effect right then. So we're talking about a matter of a week.
Okay, so then I would add that if it's possible to do everything we can to get a contract drafted for PAC, knowing that we can't release it until the local approvals occur, hopefully again in early March, so that they get a contract in their hand as soon as possible after the approval is handled by the town. And at that point, and I think this is a question back to George, is we've got to allow at least a month of submittals and shop drawings. They're not going to be able to be productive to be able to start construction until we get through that approval process. So I would imagine that we're starting at some point in absolute best, maybe May, George Wiles, best case scenario. And then we're looking at that 9 months from there.
That's probably correct. I'm sure there's things that they can do in that period. Fortunately, we've got the foundation is done out there. The coordination of the work that's remaining on the NAGI contract. So there's some coordination issues in construction activities that can be regenerated to move the project along. But you're right, there is going to be a period of mobilization that it could take 30 days.
So I have a question of Jim and Vicky, Mary Isaac and Rich Wolf. Is there a possibility that the Town Council might hold a special meeting should the Board of Finance pass this with the Town Council? Or would it be possible for the Town Council to hold a special meeting for this agenda item only before the end of February?
So, we can certainly ask that question. I was also thinking maybe there should be a joint meeting of the Board of Finance and the Town Council and do it all at one time.
That would be
at that Board of Finance.
Yeah, because the Board of Finance meets February 12th, so then it would at least be, at least the next week for us, so you're already getting towards the end of February, so that probably makes the most sense.
All right, who, would you recommend that, Vicky?
Yeah, sure, I can make that ask of the town council chairman, and it's just a matter of whether people are available. That's the question. That's all. So, but the sooner the better that we ask, so that we can see that that happens.
Okay. So who should be the point person on this?
Well, we can, since Mary's on the council, we can make her, if that's okay with Mary.
Yeah, that's fine, Mary.
Yeah, no problem. I'll follow up with the chair and see if she can send something out through the town clerk and availability.
I'm sorry, Rich is also on the council. I don't want to.
No, that's okay. I was going to throw Ashley's name out there too, but I'll let Mary do it.
We'll both throw Ashley out there. Yes.
All right, so you'll get back to us on that. I mean, we have some time. If they want to do a joint meeting on the 12th, that's fine with us. That moves the process along and secures PAC's commitment to hold their low bid. I'm getting background from somebody.
Jim, oh, there he's got.
Okay, all right. Okay, is there any other business related to the project that we need to discuss from any of the members of the committee?
Hi, yes, this is Bruce Silverstone, right?
Yep, go ahead.
So I have what is a line item in the most recent budget pieces you passed out, and there was, as a building committee member, I was surprised to see that we had architectural invoices of $185,000. And I'm not questioning the work, but I guess my question is, what will the fees be as we continue through the remainder of the project, approximately?
George,
because that seems to be a growing number.
So projection of 298,000 in total to finish the project.
Right. So the remaining on the base contract is the bid and negotiation phase, which was about $9,000. We have not invoiced for that, and yet we completed that work. And then there's the construction administration, which is, I believe, off the top of my head, was 32,000 or 34,000 on our base contract that remains. And then there's some other fees in there that haven't been, that need approval of the building committee if they come about. And those are the last 5 or 6 items. In addition to that, the reimbursable expense of 20,000, you've only spent 5, or yeah, but
So
7,000.
is all that built into our current budget?
Yes, Bruce, 298,000 is the projection total cost.
Yep.
And George, do you think you'll come in on that number? If
Yes,
not less,
I do.
if not less.
Well, yeah, we have a stipulated sum contract, which we've honored, which is now it's got a little bit of it's quite old. It's almost as old as me. This contract that we have now is I think we signed it back in it's almost 6 years ago.
Yeah.
And we've held that number throughout the entire thing. In addition to that, Bruce, just to recall, we helped develop the current website, which was quite an effort that we took part in. And so this number is a number that we've committed to. It's a stipulated fee number. And when it comes to the other expenses, we've got to come before the committee.
Okay, great. Thank you for that explanation.
Okay. Is there any other business anybody would like to discuss?
This is Maria Pires.
Yes, Maria.
I understand that we need a new contract for Wiles. The contract that we presently have is expired, so we will need to work on a new contract. So I'm not sure if that's, Greg, Jeff, would you be handling that or? No?
No, I would think that's directly with the town. We don't have involvement. with,
Okay, so George, we need to talk about, setting up a new contract, and I'm sure that the committee has to approve that as well.
Okay. All right.
Is this just an extension of his existing contract?
I don't know what the initial contract stated, but I'm told that, you know, that contract it was initially for 185,000 and, you know, there was, change orders to that and that's pretty much done. So we need a new contract with that.
Yeah, I can talk to you or to Jim Nugent or whoever.
Yes.
We can do it as an additional service number 4. You are correct. Our contract does state that after so many months that we have the opportunity to renegotiate it. There's where we're at.
Okay.
I'm not sure I agree with the language that it's extinguished because we've continued to provide services to the project all along consistently without interruption.
Well, I'll review the current contract with Jim and we can get back to you then.
Sure.
The other question I have is regarding the bonding resolution that we have to put forward. The timetable is that I need that information by next Tuesday so that I can submit it to bond counsel to prepare the resolution so that it goes on the agenda on Friday. I would suggest you get the committee prepare a memo to the committee, to the Board of Finance with I'm assuming this is the latest schedule of the costs, the one that was presented, dated, revised on January 23rd, 2026. Is that the latest one?
Yep, that's it.
Okay, so I could use that. And then the minutes of tonight's meeting, I will need that as well.
All right. I don't know. Is Marissa on this call? Did she ever get on?
Yeah, she's there.
She is. All right.
Hi, Ray. Sorry for joining late. Yes, I'm on the call and I'm taking the minutes from where I started.
So you're going to be able to provide Maria with a copy of the resolution and the minutes of the meetings that she needs to make her resolution to the bond commission, correct?
Yes.
To the Board of Finance.
Board of Finance.
I will need to get, if you were taking notes before I joined, I can incorporate yours with mine.
Okay. So Preston, you made the motion. Who was the second on that motion?
Richard Wolf.
Richard Wolf. Okay, good. All right. All right. Is there any other business? Anything else you want to add, Maria?
No, that's it.
Okay.
And the meeting's on the 12th, so
Correct. Yep. We'll get that.
then I'll wait for Mary to talk to Ashley and we see if there's a joint meeting scheduled.
Yes, that's fine. And we'll get you that information by either tomorrow or the first part of next week.
Yep. Okay.
Okay. All right. If there's nothing else, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
We have a
I'll
second?
Second.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, folks, we'll be in touch. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye-bye.